Hello, and welcome to the Creatively Geeky Show. I'm your host for the evening, Eugene Stevens. I'm joined tonight by my good, best friends, Chris and Ray. How are y'all doing?
We are getting over COVID.
Yay! At least you're on the downside, the upside. How would you want to characterize that?
Today is the first day in 10 days where I'm not exhausted by everything.
Oh, okay, good.
That's good. I sound still really like nasally and congested, and I still have a cough and stuff, but I'm not, like, walking up the stairs doesn't exhaust me.
Oh, that's good.
It doesn't.
I got a little winded, but I had a lot of stairs to go up to at work, so that was one thing. And it wasn't like gasping for air. It was just like, okay, I noticed that.
Yeah.
And then today is also the first day that my ear isn't like absolutely insane, so that's nice too.
Oh, good.
I've been having, if I get clogged up and stuff, then I start getting issues with my left ear. And that's
Ray's losing hearing in his left ear. Fun fact.
Oh, no. That's not good.
So it's a complicated story, but I'm okay, and trying not to spread this thing around. I'll be 2 weeks on Friday, so
yeah,
hopefully.
Because he got it, because he went down to the Texas, you see.
Yeah,
Party.
So I blame those damn Texans.
I do too. So yeah, since the last time we talked, in fact, let me just address this real quick. If you were listening to this show and listened to the rest of the shows, you may have noticed we kind of got bunched up. A bunch of them came out all at once, and it's kind of been radio silent for a while. We've had a lot of stuff going on as a group and individually, so I'm hoping we're going to be able to kind of get back into the role thing, but we'll see. School year is about to start again. That's always really busy for a lot of us, so we'll see. So, but yeah, the last time since we talked, you actually came down to Texas for our buddy Joseph's bachelor party, and that was an adventure.
Yeah, and you know what? It was a really good group of guys, and I'm very thankful I was able to make it down there, and that we found a place to stay.
Yes. Oh, that was okay. Anyway, that's for a different show. Yeah. So tonight, we're gonna go ahead and start off like we normally do, and we'll start with our updates. Would anyone like to go first?
Shoot it, because I can guarantee you I didn't do it.
Yeah, I'm not having COVID. I can assume you probably didn't. Let's just see here. You had down installing the sink.
Nope.
And the dishwasher.
Nope. We. So when I got back, the plan was to continue on with all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then as we got closer to the weekend, because I've also started a new job as well, so I was into that, and I just started Thursday night with a bit of a scratchy voice, and it felt like allergies. I was like, oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Friday morning, I woke up and I was plugged up, and I thought I'd better do a test. Did a test, sure enough, it was positive. So the next day, I had 102 something fever, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm not doing shit. And it was a few days after that.
2 days.
2 days after that, both Chris and Quinn. No, Quinn.
Quinn got it first because Quinn woke up with a headache, and he never has headaches. No. And he doesn't sleep like a regular teenager. Like, he'll go to bed at 11, but be up by like 7:30. Like, that's just how he's programmed. He never sleeps in, but it's always a solid sleep. Didn't sleep, has a headache. If he moved his head too fast, like, it was just pounding in his head. So he popped positive, and then later that day, I wound up with a fever, and I popped positive.
Finally hit positive as well. So
Logan in all of this is at summer camp.
And they kept her for an extra week down there. So
we picked her up on Friday, but she's been gone since July 1st. But she's very happy where she is, very happy she's missing, hopefully, knock on wood, this whole COVID adventure. And she's healthy where she is.
Yes.
So,
yep.
Yeah.
So, feeling like that,
Yeah.
We didn't do anything with the
No.
kitchen at all, and we
No.
didn't do. I played a lot of Red Dead Redemption 2.
Nice.
I restarted the game completely, and I'm already over 25% done or something like that. Like it's, yeah, I
You got
played
some solid hours. Solid hours.
solid days of.
Yeah.
Nice.
But honestly, that's all I had the energy for. It was like if somebody would have wanted to play online, I would have been like, no, because I don't want to talk. Like it's.
Yeah. Sure, talking was exhausting. Yeah.
So yeah, with no energy, it was like a big fat fuck you. I don't want to do shit.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So yeah. So yeah, that was funny. That was real cute. We had big plans.
Big plans.
Big plans.
Big plans. Didn't even mention that I was going out of Texas before, right?
No.
Like, on the show. So I had big plans despite that big trip too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Nope.
Well, moving on to Chris, you were forced to do one of yours. Relax.
Yes.
So you pretty much were arm wrestled into completing that one. The other thing you had down was get motivated.
Oh God. Well, COVID sucked
Nope.
that right out of it.
Nope. So
So my
50%.
yeah, my COVID symptoms were I had an ice pick headache, so it felt like somebody was jabbing an ice pick into my temple, and I had a fever, and I was just exhausted, so tired. So yeah, I didn't even want to eat. I didn't want to do. Everything was inconvenient. Had no appetite. Didn't want to do anything. I laid in bed for days.
Yeah.
Just chilling. We've discovered
We are very different people when we're sick.
very different people.
mhm.
I like to be in the living room, kind of like chill, but like
Still at the center.
still
of things.
within, knowing where people are and stuff like that. Somebody else likes to go in a cave and say, fuck you to the world.
I want to go away, pretend I don't exist, and just wallow in my own filth. That's what I would like to do. when I'm
She's
sick.
Harry Potter.
I am
Gotcha.
pretending I don't exist. Yes. But in like not having any motivation to do anything because you just like talking was hard because it was tiring. You just kind of have to. So we decided collective as a pair that we're taking a break from the kitchen until August because we're just going to go with how we're feeling. We're not trying to push it. We're not on any deadline other than anything we make for ourselves.
Right.
So.
Other than I have to get a blue suit.
Other than he has to get a blue suit. That's the only creative endeavor
Mhm.
we're going to be doing. So we decided, okay, no kitchen. So we're going to, what we do have to do is clean his, well, I say we, cleaning his
This
garage
Yeah.
because I love him so much, but he is a hurricane of shit when it comes to stuff. It's everywhere. It's like glitter. You're glitter. You're glitter and confetti. All at the same time when it comes to your things. They're everywhere because he doesn't have a spot in the shop to put it because it's just a mess and it's a dumping ground. So in order for me to have some semblance of my house back, because this is my house, I am the house manager, this is my domain, I would like his tools out of here because it's starting to... I am not one of those people who can live with clutter for very long. I can do it, but then I've got a point where I'm like, okay, I have to clean this up. But I find cleaning up and organizing very joyful. I love it. I get a lot of, it's like the good dopamine shit hits me in the head, and I'm just like, yes, I love it. So, but unfortunately, on the flip side for him, it completely overwhelms him to the point where he's just paralyzed. He's just like, I don't want to do it. It's overwhelming. I would just rather live with the way it is than have to start sorting through everything. So that's kind of what happened with the shop. Is that it got to a point where he was just willing to work with what it was, even though it was not functional.
It's not functional, and I hated it, and it drove me insane.
But that also meant that he didn't have anywhere to put his tools that he was finished using away. There was no away. It was just spots in the house.
But the reason why I do that is because they're still in use. Till that kitchen is done, in my mind, I have all those tools where they are because they're still in use. So that's.
But that's not what happens in my head.
No. If it hasn't been touched in 12 hours, it needs to go away.
24.
Okay,
don't have,
you and Chris, you and me are
yeah,
we're okay. Me and Christy are a lot like you. I'm the same way. I'm like, I'm still using this tool, so it's still gonna stay out. And Christy's like, nope, you didn't touch it within the last 6 hours. So
if you don't have a plan to use it within the next couple of days, it needs to go away. It just has to go away, because then you're not using it, and it can go away until it's needed again, right? Like, so this is where we're having a difference of personalities.
gotcha.
So that's what we're going to
And that's
focus
okay.
on. We're focusing on the shop so that things can be put away. We also, when we were doing the IKEA software stuff, we didn't measure for the trim, so actually goofed up. And had
I
to
goofed because the trim that's on our windows is about twice as wide as to what IKEA typically puts in for the trim. And I did the inside window measurements, which is what they ask you to do, but I should have done the outside.
Anyway, it's
that
fine.
being
It's
said,
an
it's
honest
fine.
mistake. So we have to go back to IKEA and we have to exchange some things. So we still have to do that. We're still missing components from IKEA.
Yeah.
They're still not available. So there's only so much we can do with the kitchen.
Yeah.
And
So
I don't want, I don't know. I still don't know how I feel about how I want it to all go, like in terms of a schedule and the order we do things. So.
oh, but there is one endeavor that we did not plan for that I had to deal with after I came back from
Texas.
But when I started the new job, no,
What?
it was before I started the new job, so it was before I went to Texas. We had a pipe.
Oh.
That I went to the corner of the basement and I was like, why is it wet over there? What's going on? And sure enough, our main stack was leaking. And there was a crack, probably a good
couple feet,
2 feet long.
Damn.
It was an old metal pipe that was left behind by the previous owners.
Previous,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And anyway, despite them replacing the whole other part of the stack, they didn't replace this one piece, but it was cracked and leaking everywhere. So it wasn't caught earlier because I think it just the area that it was attached to just wasn't used very often. So when we were using it a lot more recently, because we
don't have
a sink in the kitchen, we noticed quite a bit more water. And so anyway, thankfully we caught it because part of it had to be dealt with while the kitchen dripped apart. It's been dealt with, it's been replaced.
Had we put it all together, not noticed it, and then put the kitchen together, he would be ripping cabinets apart to get to it. Yeah. So we're very lucky that it happened when it happened and that everything's all open.
I would have been pissed.
I think that's putting it mildly. Enraged would probably be it. So that was a serendipitous thing that happened.
Yes.
But that's.
I probably would have looked at cutting through the floor instead of taking the cabinets apart.
Yeah. Either way.
Like going from the basement.
Right. Yeah.
Into and doing.
Still though, not a happy.
But no. Instead, I got to deal with it, and it's all done.
Yes.
Well, good.
We've been forced to slow down with COVID and sort of rethink
timing of everything
and what we're willing to put our energy into and what we're just being like, no, we don't want to push ourselves. That can wait. There's still things that we have to do.
Yeah, because I've thought about the putting the drains in and stuff like that for the dishwasher and at least getting that in. But even that's like, no, I don't want to deal with any of that.
No. So August.
So yeah.
We're giving ourselves till August, which is in like another couple weeks. So.
That sounds like a good idea, though.
Yeah, we're just trying to take it easy and putter around and do little things around the house that maybe weren't going to get that attention until much later.
Yeah. Like hangings on the wall.
That's what we've been doing. I've been going around and putting things on the floor right below where they need to be hung up. Because beyond command Velcro strips and little finishing nails, I should not be trusted with tools. He doesn't, because I will take out chunks of plaster.
Have in the past, and also used a spike to hang a picture.
It worked though. Anyway, it worked. It was fine.
I could have hung a satellite. Like
I didn't know. I just figured it wouldn't fall down, and it didn't. So
I could have probably put my TV off of that thing. Like it was.
Okay. It's a hell of a spike. Well, let's see here. So, I only had, I think I had 3 things on here, but I've added a bunch of stuff because I've actually got some other stuff done. The first one was clean the N64. That didn't happen. Haven't hardly touched the thing except to play it. It seems to be playing just fine in the boys' room. So when we do play it, it's fine. So it's like, what's the purpose? I'll get to it eventually. My proton pack. So I did get the outside shell done. I'm extremely happy with how it came out. I actually had to go back and redo the lenses and the one of the wires on it. But yeah, when I was putting it together, like I was going through and I was like, all right, well, I still haven't gotten done to the programming stuff, and I was just like, when is oh shit, I have an event next weekend. I've got to get going on this. So I got it all spray painted, and I ended up doing it was already primed. I ended up doing the orange peel stuff on it and let that dry, and then I did a layer of truck bed liner, and then I hit it with the matte black, and it turned out great. I had to redo the lenses though because I had originally 3D printed with the resin printer um, some resin lenses, and I painted them afterwards. And I thought they came out okay, but when I tried to attach them, they were just not attaching to the proton packs. I'm just like, oh, okay. I guess resin just does not like how I'm trying to do this. So instead, I put just like a sheet of plexi over them and put some red cellophane stuff on behind them, and they were more pink than red. They don't really filter anything, and I was just like, eh. So since then, I have redone the lenses, but instead, I tried a different thing. I have actually tinted the clear resin with alcohol ink,
Okay.
and on the when they came out on the print bed, they looked pretty good, but as soon as I take them off, I'm like, this is very, very pink and very, very see through.
Yeah.
So I ended up just hitting the back of them with um, red spray paint,
Yep.
and they ended up turning out really good. What was interesting was, and I don't know why it did this, but the resin, it was only a millimeter thick, started to kind of get concave,
Oh, okay.
which is fine because now that they look like more like actual lenses. So it is what it is. But I've got my proton pack up and ready and ready to go for because I've got another event this coming weekend. So, but the wand, I'm I've got a lot of work to do on that. Um, I had the electronics finalized or pretty finalized. I had one question about one thing, and I was pushing to try to get everything done. Like I said, I've got an event this coming weekend, so it'll be the weekend after this is released. And then 2 weeks from now, I'm supposed to be going to San Antonio. Christy and I are supposed to be going to the Blues Brothers concert where I'll get to meet Uncle Dan on Friday night.
Yeah.
And then, depending on what the San Antonio group tells me, if they have a booth, I was going to go down there and hang out with them because Ernie was going to be there. Well, Ernie's had to cancel because he kind of has a new TV show going on, so I guess the man's a little on the busy side. So I'm trying to find out from the San Antonio group if they even have a booth. If they don't, I'll probably just go down Friday night and come back Saturday and
Yep.
do whatever. Um, so I did get some of the stuff done with my proton pack I wanted to get done. Relax. I had relax down. I have tried to relax. It's been really crazy with family stuff and everything. But I have, worked in some time here and there to swim with the kids. We went and watched the newest Jurassic World movie. We also went and watched Lightyear, which I actually really enjoyed. Um, and then just the other day, I downloaded the new Ninja Turtles movie game, Shredder's Revenge, on the Switch, and that was a hell of a lot of fun. I had a blast playing it with the kids.
Yeah.
Um, so I did kind of get some of that done. I've also finally caught up on some TV shows and stuff. So I'm one episode away. I'm hoping after we do the show tonight, I'm going to do the last episode of Miss Marvel. So,
Oh,
but I've been staying caught up on what we do in the shadows, and I still have not started the 3rd season of Umbrella Academy. It's sitting there taunting me. So
it takes a few episodes to get into.
Yeah.
okay,
Little slow going, but I think by the 4th or fifth episode, you're like, okay,
Fourth one for sure is where like, okay,
we're good.
Gotcha.
And you also got some zombie kittens in there too.
Oh yeah. We so I did get to relax at our once we finally got situated, I got to relax at the bachelor party. But yeah, we had a lot of fun doing that. And then you got to come hang out at the house and we had fun doing that. So let's see here. A couple other things. So I had my 20-year anniversary, and Christian and I went and had lunch, and then came back and just kind of piddled around the rest of the afternoon. And I was like, "Would you mind if I drug out my Father's Day present and messed around with it?" And she's like, "Yeah, that's fine." I don't have it here because I took it to work with me, but for Father's Day, my boys got me the Lego Optimus Prime. Now, when I first heard about it, I thought, oh, okay, so I'm sure you probably build Optimus and then you build him in the truck form. And they're like, no, he transforms. And I was like, I have to have this thing. So sure enough, I sat down in the course of, I don't know how many hours it took me, probably 3 or 4 hours. And I completely built this thing. And it is so amazingly awesome. But he went to work with me. So
I say, like, when you showed it to me and you transformed it and stuff, I didn't want to touch it because it was like, if you used Craigle, then I would.
Right, yeah. Which absolutely not. Let's see here. So, just kind of out of the blue, Christy and I also went to. It's funny y'all mentioned IKEA. We went down to IKEA because we had these buckets underneath the boys' beds where they were keeping toys and Legos and stuff, and Zelda had chewed on them. Well, she's past the chewing stage, so we're like, well, let's go down and rebuy these buckets. So we go down, we find the buckets, we're trying to find the tops. They don't have any of the tops. Um, Luckily we were able to reuse some of the ones that we had, but yeah, they didn't have any of the tops, and we were looking around and they were actually out of quite a few things. So it's not just your IKEA. It sounds like IKEA in general is having some stocking issues. So
Yeah, a YouTube video today of somebody who had redone their kitchen. They did an IKEA kitchen as well, and it was and they're in America somewhere.
Yeah.
And it was the same thing. Like there was a bunch of stuff that was out of stock.
Still waiting. Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely a universal IKEA thing.
Yeah. No, the good thing is it looks like we have the main cabinets, so I should be able to put the cabinets together, except for one that we need to go and get.
Yeah.
We have to switch it out, but we're going to take two back and get a different one instead. So that should
gotcha.
But yeah, it is. It's a pain in the ass right now.
Yep. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So, like, I was to the point. I was like, well, maybe they have them on the demo one. So I went back through the entire. I was like, I know where they were. I'll go back to them real quick. Went there. Nope, demo ones didn't even have the demo ones. I was like, okay. So, another thing that came up that was just kind of out of the blue was so I had designed and 3D printed these. They were just a very simple hook that would go in with a screw to hold the boys' Nerf guns on the wall. I actually haven't posted the pictures on Instagram yet. I probably need to do that tonight. Anyway, they slowly but surely they would break off over time, so I'd have to reprint them. I started reorientating them on the print bed so that they would be a little bit stronger. I started printing them using a different type of filament so that they would be stronger. But they're boys; they're 10, you know. So Christian and I are like, well, let's get this fixed. So I took down all of the hooks that were up there, and we bought it's 3x3 it's a 3x3 grid pattern, and I want to say it's like 5 foot by 2 foot or something like that. And there were 3 sheets of it, and then I bought all the hooks and everything. So on the boys' walls now is this black metal rod grid patterns with hooks to put on it so that we can hang everything. It's very industrial. It's very much like what you would use at a store, or especially like at a convention. A lot of people will use these to show their wares at a convention. So I have that up on the walls. It looks great. A little more money than I was hoping to originally spend, just because I had to buy a few more hooks here and there, but it turned out fantastic. So, and it's one of those things that if they grow older or past it or whatever, we don't want to use it for that. I will definitely be holding on to it because there's stuff I can use it for. So, and then two other quick things. Well, technically kind of three. Two other quick things. My office at work. So I went back. I was on contract starting last week. I went back to work, my partner and I, and we had put in to have these. We had these there was a 16-foot dry erase board on one wall and an 8-foot one on another wall. They were covered with stuff. We never could do anything with it. I mean, anything we'd write on there basically stayed there forever because, like I said, we just did not use them. It was eating up a bunch of space. And we put in requests to have those taken down, and if painted need to be done behind it, it would be done. So we walk in, and they're still up. So I don't know. They just magically fell off the wall. So
so weird when that happens.
it is weird when that happens. So, we're like, well, they fell off the wall. I guess we'll just go and carry them outside. So we carried him outside. My campus is like completely being redone. It's insane. So there's 2 courtyards, and the back courtyard, as we're hauling these things out, there's literally a cement truck there hooked up to something else, and there's a pipe just running. It's a straight shot, but it's running through the hallway into this courtyard where they're pumping concrete into this courtyard to do stuff. So that's how they did the one courtyard. Well, the other courtyard, there's no straight shot. There's at least 2 90-degree bends. So earlier this week, when I got there in the morning, they had this huge truck, and I don't know if I sent y'all the picture or not. They had this huge truck. And then when I went to go take care of something, I was going to a meeting. When I walked out, there's a cement truck hooked up to the pump thing, hooked up to this other truck, and they literally have a crane going over the building to pump the concrete into this other courtyard.
Those before, they're awesome.
Yeah. So anyway, in the process of all this, my partner and I took my sander in. There was one of the boards was held up with some glue along with the brackets. I sanded that down or whatever. Got the walls painted, got everything put back up, and actually we've kind of been redecorating and everything. And our office is looking really good. We have a lot of extra blank space that we can use for future stuff, which is exciting because there are things that he has. He's like, man, I've never had a place to put this up. And I'm like, let's do it. So, I mean, he's got another 5 years there at least. I've probably got another 10 or 12. So we're like, hell, we spend 8 hours a day here every day. So let's make it look nice. So, so I've been working on my office at work, which has been nice. The last 2 things that I had down here. So I got some really bad news. I had been working on that build up Ecto 1, and I had not gotten a shipment since like November, December. And when I talked to them, and they said, well, one of the things is on back order. It should hopefully be, not back on order, back in stock soon. This was months ago. And then talking with some of the other Ghostbusters, they're like, oh, you didn't hear? Apparently they're moving their distribution center from England to the US because they've got so much more business there. It would make sense to move. I'm like, okay. They pretty much told everyone, hey, it's going to be several months. We're like, okay, cool. So I called them a week or so ago. I was like, hey, just checking to see when I'm going to start getting stuff. They're like, well, it shows that it should be back in stock in August. I'm like, okay, so I guess I'll start getting these things in August. Well, news breaks earlier last week that apparently the company has filed for an administrator or something. Yeah. So basically, it sounds like they may be circling the drain. So my 50% done Ecto may never get anything else done. Where everyone is hoping and praying that someone else is going to step in and save this business. Part of their biggest problem is like they have these build up things. So like they have an Ecto, they have a DeLorean and stuff. And they're very highly rated. Like everyone, very much appreciate it. But I constantly keep getting these emails of like, hey, now we've got this, 1/604 scale, Enterprise that's 24 karat gold. And I'm like, who the hell needs this? Like, why are you doing all this extra stuff? Maybe you should be focusing on getting done what you've already promised.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. So, so I will keep you up to date on that because that was something that I greatly enjoyed doing, and now I don't know if it's going to go anywhere, which really sucks. So, and then the last thing that I wanted to bring up is I have, I don't know, 7 or 8. Some of them are special, but 7 or 8 matrices that I've had fully printed. All the parts are sitting here since I left contract, went off contract, and I have not done a single damn thing with them. That is jumping ahead, future projects, I do plan to have them together and on sale before the next time we meet for the show. Um, but I don't know how much longer I'm planning on doing this because the other things that I sell are pretty easy. I put them on, I've set the 3D printer up and print it or whatever. And it's not like I'm getting over 3D printing. I still refer to it all the time. Hell, I needed new stands for the flags that go in my office because they were on these attachments on those boards. And I was just like, well, I'll just throw something together. Sure enough, 3D printed them, took them into work, mount them today, worked great. Um, but it's just like I don't know. I don't know if I'm just tired and worn out and I need a break to get back to it. But part of me is like, even though I've enjoyed, the time off or whatever, I've enjoyed whenever I do have extra time that I can focus on doing what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I told Christy, I'm like, well, part of it's also going to come down to at the end of this year, whenever I file on my taxes, if Uncle Sam takes a good little chunk of that I made, I'm either going to have to jump the prices way up, which I don't know if I would even be able to sell them for, or I'll just be like, you know what, I think I'm done. So,
Yep.
but anyway, so I was going to kind of, I didn't really have a topic or anything. I did want to share one thing though. And I don't know if I had shared this with y'all yet. This is going to be more so interesting to Ray than anything else, but,
Oh,
Okay.
no. So Adam Savage had teased this tool beginning of the year, maybe. Yeah, I think about the beginning of the year. And he immediately sold out on Amazon. They never got any more back in stock. And anyway, I was looking up. Of course, there's a version that you could 3D print kind of for. And I had 3D printed one, but I saw one. It was on sale on Etsy, and I thought, you know what? I'd rather have the official one, or a metal version or whatever. So I bought this thing. Didn't realize it was coming from England, so it was going to take a little bit longer than I thought it was. But anyway, so this is what it is. It looks like a metal tube. It
Yep.
actually has two 3D printed. There's another one over here. Two 3D printed inserts that go in it, but it's a metal tube, and it's got a fairly decent screw on the bottom of it.
Yep.
So what you do is you put the insert in here, and then you take it, you chuck it into your drill, and then you take your spray paint and you put it in here. And after about 20 seconds, this thing is mixed beyond anything you could ever imagine. Adam Savage was like, this has saved spray cans of paint that I didn't want to let go because you can't get a hold of anymore. He goes, I was pretty sure I just need to throw this out. There's no way I'm ever going to get it to work. He's like, this has saved cans of spray paint. So once I got it and I was starting to work on my proton pack, I think maybe I should have held off a little bit on something that's supposed to be a textured type paint. I think I maybe overmixed it, so I probably just need to cut back on the timing. But as long as the nozzle is clean, there's no way you're ever going to get a finer mist coming out of a spray. Like, it is so thoroughly mixed. It is fantastic. And I've even heard people talk about with a higher quality spray paint, you're talking about a mist coming out. You're getting close to airbrush. Like, it's fantastic. When I did it on my proton pack, I just was blown away because I just kept spraying and I was like, all right, I probably need to shake it a little bit more. I was like, no, man, it just keeps coming. Like, that whole can is just, you can imagine. So if you're not able to see it, so like I was describing it, it's a can. It basically goes on the end of your drill. You put the can of spray paint in it, and it's off by maybe a degree, but you can hear that ball in there. I'm sure it's just like a whirlpool inside this can of all the paint getting mixed, and it's fantastic. So if you are listening to this and you spray paint anything ever or use anything, any kind of a rattle can, anything, I can't recommend it enough. It was probably $30 or $40 by the time I paid shipping and everything for it, but I thought it is worth every penny because previously a lot of prop makers and including Adam Savage, they're like, okay, to properly, to get the best result out of a spray paint can, first off, get yourself some warm water, put the can in there, let it sit there for a little while. That helps warm, bring it up to temperature. And then, of course, make sure you shake and shake and shake at least a minute, minute and a half, sometimes 2 minutes, and then spray for a minute or so, and then reshake or whatever, and it eliminates all of that. Like literally, I just pop the can in, let it go for 30 seconds, and I can just keep going. It is so awesome.
That's awesome.
So, I didn't really have a topic. I know we don't really have topics or whatever, but just you know, the whole thing with Etsy, I'm just like, am I just done with this? Like,
Well, I was trying to find. I read this whole post about decorative minimalism. In that, even like when you look at things from the Victorian, even though it was something so small, it was like detailed to the nth degree. It was gorgeous and beautiful to look at. And we wound up, in order to make it palatable for everybody, we take in the personality out of everything. And so everything winds up looking very homogenized and very plain in order to save somebody's aesthetic taste. And so I was like, okay, that's awesome. I like that. I want to have pretty functional things in my house. So I want a hook, a decorative hook, just to hang aprons on in the kitchen. I'm like, I need a hook. Why not make it fancy? And I went on Etsy. I'm like, Etsy. Everything I looked at was coming from China, was mass produced. I thought Etsy had rules against this, that you actually couldn't have mass produced things, that you couldn't, that it all had to be handmade. And now I know they have third party changes and things like that you can get away with now, but everything, all of the decorative hooks that I love, I was like, oh, that's so pretty. All mass produced, all coming out of China. If they weren't coming from China, they were coming from Indonesia. They were coming from a mass produced place.
yes.
They were like American or Canadian stores or storefronts. It was all mass produced. And it was just like, and that's what happened with our faucet. So I ordered a faucet off of Etsy. It's really, the picture made it look so cool.
It was like ornate. It was really
ornate,
beautiful.
Filigree and brassy gold. I'm like, this is awesome. It showed up. It's mass produced from China. I thought I was getting it from Europe somewhere. I can't remember the country. But no, it's from China. It's got actually Chinese symbols on it that have been rubbed off enough that you can't tell that it's Chinese symbols, but you can.
It's to the point where I don't even want to put it in.
I don't want to put it in either, but we don't have anything else, and we're already over budget with everything else.
I'd rather spend the cash and just.
And we can't return it now.
No,
so I know, but I would rather just use it for a little bit till we find what we want, and then just change it out, because it does look really cool from a distance. If you're not staring at it up close, it looks really freaking cool. Show you right now. I'll show you. I'll get it because I'm staring at it right now. It's right over here, and I haven't looked at it in a while. Yeah, it was made in China. Now it came with all the components, and there's nothing missing from it that way. But you have to move Wicket. Thank you, Potato. So it's really cool. Like, yeah. But if you look really closely, where is it? On what side? And here, like in here, like that, some nondescript Chinese.
Oh, yeah.
But you can't, anything at the front, you can't tell this is going to be at the back.
Yeah.
So you can't really tell when you look dead on. But it's like, this is mass produced. This was made in China. It's supposed to be from this handmade store, and it's
not.
So we are going to use it for a little bit till we find something that we like. But I was just like super disappointed. So I'm like, I've already decided I'm not going to go back on Etsy for my own stuff. But it's like, do I even want to shop Etsy? In general, it's so hard now. You don't know where it's coming from, even though it says, this ships from America. Where is it coming from before that?
Right. Yeah.
So that's
been my problem too. Like I'll search for shops out of Canada only, and then some of them they bought it from somewhere else and they are repackaging it as their own, and it's like, no, this isn't what Etsy was about, and I'm really disappointed that Etsy's allowed this to happen.
Yeah,
they're focused on making money, and it's not what it was for, right? So yeah. I'm really disappointed.
So then is Amazon marketplace, the next place you go to? What are their rules? What are their...
And they're even worse from what I understand.
Okay.
Yeah, I refuse to do it. I'm just kind of like, I don't know if, like I said, if I'm just burned out and I just need a break from making these things in the first place. Who knows? I may get into the school year and be like, all right, I'm bored and I could use the extra money. And that's the other thing is I could do the work and I know I could pull in, I basically pay, we've talked about this before. I basically pay myself when I time I sell them all, I basically pay myself, about $15 an hour, which is, well, depending on where you work, it is either minimum wage or in some cases, technically it's still double from what it really is. But I mean, everything's had to, bump up prices to get people or bump up pay to get people to work. But I'm just like, I mean, I could use the extra $500 a month, but do I really want to have to do this? So I don't know. It's something I've kind of talked about with Christy, and it's just funny because I've been selling these things for a year or so now, or hell, I've been selling them for years actually because I was selling them even before COVID started. And now that I have my like quote unquote final design, I'm just like, I'm tired.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
I get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think once I get these together and get them sold, I may take a break. I haven't had anyone hounding me for them either. That's the funny thing is like normally I'd have, hey, when you're gonna have these restocked, and you have these restocked, and I haven't had anyone ask me about them. So I'm gonna put these up, and if they don't sell very fast, I may be like, well, cool, I'll just leave them there, and when they sell, they sell, and maybe I'll replace them, maybe I won't. So
maybe that's a sign too, right?
yeah, and that could be, and I thought about that too. As I'm like, I may have hit market saturation, so we'll see. So, but anyway, well, let's go ahead and talk about the things we'd like to try to maybe work on for next time. I know y'all said y'all are kind of MIA until August, at least on the kitchen. So, is there anything you wanted to kind of work on or focus on, Ray, creatively, or are you just like, nope, gonna keep playing Red Dead?
That is tempting.
I gotcha.
If I don't do anything with the kitchen, and if it is just going to be like a chill, because that's the other thing is Logan's going to be coming back this weekend as well. We want to hang out with her. There's a couple of card games that I bought down in Texas that I want to play with her. So, which I promised I would wait until she's home. So there's that. But I think if I get time, there is a painting that I want to get done. I got a couple ideas that so I might try and get a painting, at least the idea of one started. Well, I'll say that.
Okay, gotcha. Chris, is there anything in particular you're wanting to? I literally just kept relax / get motivated.
Yeah, I remember you were like, nope, we're writing this down. I don't know. I have no clue. I don't know. I have kind of done this thing where I've let my ADHD take over in terms of projects and just gone with what my brain wanted to do and not the price for it because there's like 30 different things that are various states of completion and it's starting to really bug me. So I think I would really like the entryway to be done for me to, because that's my project, like that's my thing. So I have to